Hi everyone, Aga here from EurekaCrystalBeads.com, and I'm here with another fun beading tutorial for you. Before I get started, just a quick reminder to check out the rest of our channel, and if you like our videos, if you have learned anything, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you always know when we're posting new content. So in today's video we'll be making this bracelet. It's very simple, it's super quick to make, and I feel it's perfect for the summer with these beachy colors and lightweight feel. The simple design is paired here with top quality supplies, so we have the ELITE Eureka Crystal pearls, Yuki quarter Tilas, and these gorgeous, a little mysterious shaped 24K gold plated Cymbal Elements, which elevate this bracelet, I feel, a lot. So here is what you'll need to make the bracelet. Because we're focusing on the cymbal elements, let's introduce them first. They are gold plated. They're these tiny little 2-hole sort of beads. They are bead endings, and they are originally intended for Tila, quarter Tila, and half Tila. And this is basically what we're going to be using them for today, because they're going to be facing the quarter Tilas with a flat end, but incidentally, they are also perfect for mini GemDuos. Look at that. Isn't this just a perfect match? Perfect fit. They are called Tourkou, and you get 20 of them in a pack, so that's perfectly enough to make this bracelet. You're also going to need some of these mini GemDuos. We're gonna need some 6mm beads, and here I have our ELITE Austrian crystal 6mm pearls. I'm also going to be using quarter Tilas, but you can substitute them for half Tilas as well as regular Tila beads. The look will just be slightly different, but I believe it will look nice with any variation of the Tila bead. For our seed beads, we have 11 Miyukis in this lovely bronze metallic color. Here I have a toggle clasp that I feel fits perfectly with the vibe and the style of the bracelet. And I attached 2 jump rings to the ends of it because this will be just easier to attach it to a bracelet. You can also use pieces of chain like Bronze Pony does it, and I really love that way. I just had some jump rings handy, so I used that. As far as tools are concerned, you're going to need a needle. I'm going to be using size 12, but 11 or even 10 will be good as well. And I'll be using a 4-pound fire line in the color crystal, and I do believe the color is best if your thread is white or crystal or colorless, because it's going to show a little bit next to these light-colored mini GemDuos and these sort of semi-transparent quarter Tilas. 6-pound or even 8-pound fire line will work great as well. It just will have more or less draping to it, the bracelet. Okay, why don't we start? This little bracelet is very fresh, very summery, I would say, and it will be pretty quick and easy to make, because the only stitch that we're going to be using is herringbone stitch. So I'm going to unwrap a little bit more than half a wingspan of thread, and I'm going to start at the end of the bracelet, and I'll pick up one of the Tila beads, the quarter Tila beads, and 2 11-ohs. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go right back through that quarter Tila bead, the other hole of it, so that the 11-ohs find themselves on top of it. See, I forgot to put in a stopper bead, but if you want, you can put a stopper bead right there so that nothing slides on your thread as you go. Now we're going to be adding the clasp. So this is going to be the end of our bracelet. And I'm going to start with this end of the clasp. And for the bar of the toggle, you always need some room over here, because as you put this end through the loop in your clasp, this kind of goes into that loop as well before it can go like this, right? So I'm gonna pick up 10 11-oh beads, and because my jump ring is large enough so that the beads will go through, I can just pick it up But if you are using a smaller jump ring or just a piece of chain, then you just pick half of the beads that you want to add on this loop that is going to be connecting the bracelet and the clasp, and then the clasp, and then the other half of the beads. And you're gonna go right back up the quarter Tila and the first of the two 11-0s. Alright, now because I want this to be more firm, I'm gonna go back through that other 11-0 on top of the quarter Tila, and I'm gonna go down all of those beads in this loop, and I'm gonna go through them again, and back up the entire sequence. I'm gonna go down again, but to make this entire sequence a little bit more together, I'm only going to go through 3 of the beads in here. And I'm gonna go back through the last 3. So I'm going to connect these 2 beads in here, just so that it looks a little bit neater, more organized. And now I'm going to pick up 2 more 11-0 beads. I'm going to go back this 1 bead here, this 11-0 on the other side, on top of the quarter Tila. So this is, at this point, this is typical herringbone stitch. And I'm going to go back up through now 2 11-0 beads. Pull tight so that the thread kind of hides in between those beads here, like that. And now we're going to go ahead and add our pearl. So I pick up a 6mm pearl and 2 11-0s. And I slide them all the way down my thread and go right back through this crystal pearl here. And I'm gonna go through the second of the 11-0s, so the one that doesn't have thread coming out of it. So I'm going through the pearl and through that bead underneath. And as you pull down, you want these beads to get arranged sort of in this way. And now I'm coming out of this 11-0 here, downwards. So the natural way of doing things will be go up through this bead here, and that's what I'll be doing. And now I'll sort of encase this pearl in beads by picking up 6 11-0s. Now this is when you can get substituting. If you use a smaller pearl, you just pick up fewer of the 11-0s. You can use a larger bead here, and then you pick up more 11-0s. You'll have to experiment a little bit. There's a lot of customization that can be happening here. So you go like this. I'm gonna go down this other bead here. I'm not adding anything on top here. So I just went down this other bead, and I'm gonna add 6 11-0s on the other side. And I'm gonna go through that other bead underneath the pearl. And there we have 11-0s encapsulating this pearl so nicely. Now you go up through the other bead as you normally would for herringbone stitch. And I'm gonna go through the pearl and through one of the beads on top. Now I'm gonna pick up 2 11-0s, just 2, go through the other 11-0 in here, and I'm gonna go up this first bead in this row here, in this way connecting these 2 beads that are right on top of my pearl, and pulling it all nicely together. Alright, now it's time for an entire sequence of beads that will create the segment that will contain the quarter Tilas, the cymbal elements, and the mini GemDuos. So what I do is I pick up a quarter Tila, whichever hole, then the cymbal element, and I make sure to enter one of the holes from the flat side towards that side that has this kind of shape. And I'm going to pick up a mini GemDuo. And now because they have a front and a back, the back is kind of flat, the front is kind of convex. You want to make sure that you're picking them up the same way throughout your bracelet so that, well, the bracelet has a front and a back and not just alternating beads. So I picked up one mini GemDuo. Now I'm gonna add on another one like this and another one like this. So I picked this one up by the other hole, sort of. So if you hold them with a convex side facing you, you want to go through the same hole for the first and the third, and through the other hole for the middle one, so that you start creating this kind of diamond shape that will finish with one more mini GemDuo in a second. I'm now gonna pick up another of the cymbal elements, and now I'll enter it from the concave side, the side with the shape, and on the flat side I'm gonna add a quarter Tila plus 2 11/0 on top. You can slide it down your thread. I'm gonna turn my work over so that it's all facing the front like this. And I'm gonna go back through the second hole of the quarter Tila, the cymbal element, and the mini GemDuo until I reach that gap in my diamond. You can keep sliding it down, or you can just give it a rest and everything will slide down in the end. Now I'm going to pick up one more mini GemDuo, and I want to make sure that it's facing the same way as the rest. And I continue my way down until I reach that first 11/0 under the quarter Tila that we added before. And voila, when you pull tight, this is what you get: an entire 3/4 of an inch sequence with one fell swoop. I am now going to go back up, starting with the 11/0 that's in the pair with the one that I just went through, and up all of those beads in the sequence so that I end up coming out of the 11/0 on top. Pull tight. And there you go, you're at the start of the entire sequence again. So picking up 2 11/0s, going back through one of these two, back up. You might notice that coming out of the bead on the other side then when I was starting out. So when I was starting out, I was coming out of the bead on the right, and now I'm coming out of the bead on the left and going into the bead on the right. This is because I started picking up my mini GemDuos like from the back, so I had to turn over my work to kind of hold them from the front because that's just more convenient to me. The next step then is the crystal pearl and the 2 11/0s. Slide them down, back through the crystal pearl, and down through the 1 11/0 that doesn't have thread coming out of it. Pull it down, and you want the beads to kind of sit on top of this pearl like this. I'm gonna go up through the other bead down here. I'm going to add 6 11/0s on one side of that pearl. I'm gonna go right down and add 6 11/0s on the other side of the pearl. Down through one of the 11/0s. Up through the other 11/0, then right through the pearl, and through one of the 11/0s on top. You add 2 11/0s now. Go back up through 2. And now it's time again for the entire 2-hole sequence. So again, you go in with a quarter Tila, the Tourkou cymbal element, then 3 mini GemDuos, another cymbal element, quarter Tila, and 2 11/0s. Slide them all down. Back through the quarter Tila, cymbal element, and mini GemDuo. Adding on the one missing GemDuo, minding the side, and through the remaining 2-hole beads and the 11/0 underneath them. Pulling it all together. Now back up through all of these beads. And you're ready to start the next sequence. As you can see, it's very quick to make. I already have this much. So see you in like 15 minutes. There, I have enough length for a bracelet, and it's a good idea to finish this one wherever you reach Tila or quarter Tila in this case bead, just like in here. Though technically you can end this whenever you have like 2 beads next to each other as well. I'm just going to finish with a quarter Tila and a loop made of 5 11/0s plus my clasp. This time it's 5 11/0s because you don't need as big of a loop on the, well, loop side of the toggle clasp. And I'm gonna go through the second hole as well as one of the 11/0s underneath and bring it together like that. I'm gonna go up and go through this entire loop twice more to make it more sturdy. Now I'm going to tie a knot over here and hide the tail thread. As I thought, just a bit over half a wingspan of thread was enough, so I can now finish my tail thread, the other end of my thread, in the same way by tying a knot and weaving it in. And my bracelet is ready, together with describing what I'm doing to you. It took me under 30 minutes to finish the entire thing, and it looks so nice, so fresh for the summer. I really like how the cymbal elements add a little bit of a metallic accent and encapsulate these mini GemDuos, really, just like these beads encapsulate and surround these pearls. I really like it. All of these materials here can be found, of course, at EurekaCrystalBeads.com, and a full list will be also linked down in the description, so go to the first link in the description to find all of the supplies needed to make this bracelet. Let us know in the comments how easy or how difficult this pattern was to you and how difficult it was to make this bracelet. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!